Stress has become the background music of modern life. It's that low hum of anxiety that follows you from the moment you wake up to the moment you finally fall into a restless sleep. You feel it in your body, the tight shoulders, the shallow breathing, the racing heart when you get an unexpected email. You feel it in your mind, the endless loop of worries, the inability to focus, the feeling that you're constantly juggling a dozen glass balls and they're all about to drop. You've probably been told to just relax, or not worry so much. Which, let's be honest, is about as helpful as telling someone in a house fire to just feel cooler. You know you need to manage your stress, but the advice you get is often vague and unhelpful. Meditate for an hour? Go on a week-long silent retreat? Who has time for that? The stress of trying to manage your stress just adds another layer of stress. But here's the truth. Managing stress isn't about making grand, life-altering changes. It's not about eliminating every problem from your life. It's about building a practical, simple toolkit of habits and techniques that you can use every single day to lower your baseline anxiety and handle challenges when they arise. It's a skill, and like any skill, you can learn it. Today, we're going to build your personal stress management toolkit. We're going to focus on 3 core areas that are the source of, and solution to, most of our stress. We'll call them the 3 pillars: your body, your mind, and your environment. By making small, consistent changes in each of these areas, you can fundamentally change your relationship with stress. Let's start with the first pillar, your body. When you're stressed, your body is in a state of high alert. It's flooded with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, preparing you for a fight that never comes. The first step is to learn how to manually turn off that alarm system. The first tool for your kit is called the Physiological Sigh. This is a simple breathing technique, backed by neuroscience, that you can do anytime, anywhere. Here's how it works. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Then, when you think your lungs are full, take another sharp, short inhale to expand them just a little bit more. Then, let it all out with a long, slow exhale through your mouth. That's it, 2 inhales, 1 long exhale. This isn't just a relaxation trick, it's a biological reset button. That double inhale forces the tiny air sacs in your lungs to reinflate, which allows your body to offload carbon dioxide more efficiently. This sends a direct signal to your brain to calm your nervous system. Do this 1 to 3 times, and you will feel a noticeable decrease in your physical stress levels. It is the fastest way to tell your body that you are safe. The second tool is the 20-minute movement rule. When you're stressed, your body is primed for action. It's full of energy that has nowhere to go. The absolute best way to use up that energy is to move. I'm not talking about a grueling, hour-long workout. I'm talking about a brisk, 20-minute walk. Every day, think of this as a non-negotiable meeting in your calendar with yourself. The goal is not to burn calories. The goal is to burn off stress hormones. Going for a walk metabolizes cortisol and adrenaline, literally clearing them out of your system. It also releases endorphins, which are your body's natural mood elevators. If you feel too overwhelmed to move, that is the single most important time to do it. The third tool is the sleep reset. Stress and sleep have a toxic relationship. When you're stressed, you can't sleep. When you can't sleep, your body produces more stress hormones. It's a vicious cycle. You must break it by prioritizing sleep hygiene. We've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. Your bedroom must become a sanctuary for sleep. It needs to be cool, dark, and quiet. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. And most importantly, create a screen-free wind-down hour before bed. This isn't a luxury, it's a medical necessity for a stressed-out brain. Okay, you now have 3 tools to manage the physical side of stress. Now let's move to the second pillar, your mind. This is where stress is born, in the relentless loops of worry and what-ifs. The first tool for your mental toolkit is the scheduled worry time. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's incredibly effective. Instead of letting your worries run rampant all day, you are going to quarantine them. Schedule 15 minutes in your calendar every single day. Let's say at 5 p.m., and label it, worry time. For the rest of the day, whenever an anxious thought pops into your head, you don't engage with it. You simply tell yourself, that's an interesting worry. I will think about that at 5 p.m. Write it down on a list. Then, when 5 p.m. rolls around, you sit down with your list and you worry. You let yourself feel all of it for those 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, you're done for the day. This technique works because you're not trying to suppress your worries, which is impossible. You are simply containing them. You are teaching your brain that there is a time and a place for anxiety, and it's not all day, every day. The second tool is the worst-case scenario game. For every major worry on your list, you're going to ask 2 questions. The first question is, what is the absolute worst-case scenario here? Write it down in detail. This feels scary, but something amazing happens when you do it. The vague, terrifying monster in your head, when dragged out into the light and put on paper, often looks much smaller and more manageable. Once you've defined the worst-case scenario, you ask the second question. What is one tiny, simple action I could take right now to make that scenario less likely? The key here is tiny. If you're stressed about a big project at work, the action isn't finish the project. The action is open a new document and write a single sentence. If you're worried about your finances, the action isn't solve all my money problems. It's spend 5 minutes looking up one of my bills. This shifts your brain from the passive, draining state of worrying to the active, energizing state of problem solving. The third mental tool is the clutter-free zone. Your physical environment has a direct and profound impact on your mental state. A messy, chaotic space creates a low-level hum of background stress that you might not even notice. It constantly signals to your brain that your life is out of control. You don't need to become a minimalist overnight. You just need to create one, single, clutter-free zone. It could be your desk. It could be your nightstand. It could be a single armchair. This one spot in your home must be kept completely clear at all times. It is your sanctuary. At the end of every day, take 60 seconds to reset this space. This small act of control in your physical world sends a powerful signal of calm and order to your mind. The final pillar is your environment. Specifically, the people and the information you let into your life. Your first tool here is the information diet. In our modern world, we are constantly bombarded with stressful information, the news, social media outrage, endless emails. You wouldn't eat junk food all day and expect to feel good, so why do you consume junk information and expect to feel calm? You need to go on an information diet. This week, pick one day and designate it a low information day. No news websites, no scrolling through social media feeds. Unsubscribe from 5 promotional email lists that are cluttering your inbox. You are not becoming ignorant, you are becoming intentional. You are protecting your most valuable resource, your attention. The second tool is learning to use the power of no. A huge portion of our stress comes from being overcommitted and having our boundaries crossed. We say yes to things we don't have the time or energy for because we're afraid of disappointing people. But every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to something you need, your rest, your peace, your own priorities. Saying no is a muscle, and it needs to be trained. Start small. The next time someone asks you for something you can't or don't want to do, use this simple script. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now. You don't need to give a long explanation. You don't need to apologize. A clear, kind no is one of the most powerful stress reduction tools you have. So there you have it. Your toolkit, a set of practical, simple tools for your body, your mind, and your environment. Stress is not a sign of weakness. It's a signal that something in your life is out of balance. It's a call to action. The goal isn't a life with no stress, that's impossible. The goal is to have the confidence to know that when stress does arrive, you have the tools to handle it. You are not helpless. You are capable. Don't try to do everything at once. Just pick one tool from this list. Just one. Maybe you try the physiological sigh the next time you feel overwhelmed. Maybe you just go for that 20-minute walk today. Start there, because managing stress isn't a massive project. It's a series of small, kind decisions you make for yourself, every single day.